and welcome to Climate Check with me, Mary Mwiikisa. Now, this week is not a very good week for climate action enthusiasts, in that the President of the United States, the newly sworn-in President, Donald Trump, on Monday signed an executive order, again directing the United States to withdraw from the landmark Paris Climate Agreement, dealing a blow to worldwide efforts to combat global warming and once again distancing the U.S. from its closest allies. Now, remember in 2017, this again happened when Mr. Trump was in power. And this has sent mixed feelings globally because, as a country, Zambia was signatories to the Paris Agreement, and many other countries, especially in the global south, where we're dealing with the harsh effects of climate change, and while the global north continues with industrialization. And so this is an issue that has unsettled a lot of countries towards climate action, because then our mitigation measures are all going down. But of course, suffice to say that as countries, we may need to look at different models of achieving climate action regarding mitigation and adaptation. This is Climate Check. What is on the program today? We will be talking to the chairperson of the House of Chiefs, Chief Nkambo, as he talks about climate action among traditional leaders in Zambia. And we'll also find out more about the next level grant facility issued by the Slum Dwellers International. Join me on the other side. Now, imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi. Just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now, you are the solution to climate change. Now, we start off the show by focusing on the launch of the next level grant facility that was launched yesterday by Slum Dwellers International. Remember, they are alliance partners on the VCA project. And let's find out what happened at Mulungushi International Conference Center, where our staffer Dominic Davis Chifumbe attended.
Launch of the next level grant facility. This is to enable resilience, sustainability, as well as to ensure that the fight against climate change is enhanced, and also ensuring that solutions are brought to the table and closer to the people. Building community resilience, championing the fight against climate change, and adapting to the impact of climate change. Voices for Just Climate Action Project Alliance member Slum Dwellers interviewed SDI hosted the national launch of the Next Level Grant Facility. This is in a quest to empower, amplify and promote bottom-up decision-making and include traditionally excluded voices from the climate action. In a speech read on his behalf, Minister of Green Economy and Environment Mike Mposha was represented by Director Green Economy and Environment Ephraim Shitima, appreciated the all-inclusive model adopted in the climate action.
This is a very important project. Yes, of course, representing the Honorable Minister of Green Economy and Environment, you should have been here. But the fact that this grant of the funds are going to the local communities who are down there on the ground, and the model that they are using are very flexible approaches in terms of accessing the funds. We have seen the three groups that have received the funds: the group from Chongwe, a youth group, another group from Kafue, which is a women's group, and the other one from Iteji. It is very impressive because the ideas that they have are the ones responding to the challenges on climate change. But just the accessibility, the fact that they have been able to access these funds, not enormous resources, but they will go a long way in addressing the challenges on the ground. And so this is a project that the minister is very passionate in supporting, and the minister as well.
VCA District Coordinator Dilwe Siamuntu highlighted some of the objectives of the project. Well, the Voices for Just Climate Action is a strategic program that focuses on building community resilience and adapting to the impacts of climate change. It's a 5-year program that is being funded by the Dutch government and is being implemented by 5 consortium partners. The program started in 2021, start of the year, and it's being funded by the Dutch government. We've been given as an alliance about 9.3 million euros to do the work up to end of December 2025. So it's an enormous undertaking that is being implemented in 11 districts covering 3 provinces, which is Southern Province, Lusaka, and part of Central Province. Well, looking at the pot of funds that we've been availed with, we were given a small pot of funds to try to pioneer an inclusive climate finance mechanism. Speaking at the same event, Chieftainess Muezwa of Iteji urged her fellow traditional leaders to support the initiative.
To all leaders in different spaces and policymakers, I offer a special call to action. Let us create an enabling environment that allows local actors to thrive. This means simplifying access to climate finance.
Our community will be better equipped to face future challenges and seize opportunities for growth. This project will serve a model for sustainable development, showcasing the profound impact of collaboration efforts in fostering resiliency and prosperity.
Successfully we are chosen, and obviously we are going to impact people who are within the farm area where we do the seedlings, and even those that are outside, they can come and do their gardening within the same area.
We are targeting small-scale farmers with a target of not less than 500. Yeah, because it's a rural district, and we are about to promote our local seed in the district. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Iteji Member of Parliament Twambo Mutinta is pleased with the development in his constituency.
To be honest, I'm excited as a Member of Parliament. This is the first time that we've seen a project empowering poor women, poor youths, poor clubs, poor cooperatives, bringing them together, galvanizing them together, giving them an idea, and they build an idea themselves on how they are going to address the effects of climate change. So I'm proud as a Member of Parliament that out of this consortium of the Voices for Climate Change Action Project, 14 community-based groupings from ITSS, they've been awarded these grants.
This is set to effect the amplification of locally shaped climate action and play a pivotal role in the fight against climate change. Dominic Davis Chifumbe reporting in Lusaka.
This is Climate Check. Let's now focus on the impact of the Voices for Just Climate Action, VCA, on many communities in Zambia. And on the other side, I'll be talking to Mr. Michelo Simwete, who is the project officer for the VCA project, and he is from HIVOS. Thank you so much for making time to join us on Climate Check.
Thank you, Mary, and how are you?
Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you too.
Let's talk about the VCA project. Let's first look at the year 2024. How would you assess its performance, its impact?
I think 2024 was quite a challenging year in terms of climate change impacts.
Yes.
We saw that there was a lot of climate-related disasters, as well as we saw there were a lot of there was drought, and also in some places there were diseases that occurred as a result of climate change. Okay. So in 2024, we can describe it as a year of climate change disasters. But of course, not much to say that it was a disaster year. It also created opportunities for various sectors as well.
Exactly. We saw that also one of the sectors, I'm glad you're talking about the sectors, agriculture sector was also impacted. And I know that as a project, you have some interest in the agriculture and success of our farmers.
Yes. So the VCA in a nutshell, to say it encompasses all the sectors.
Yes.
So when you look at the nexus that the VCA looks at, it looks at the food, energy, agriculture, and the gender mainstream. So these 3 or 4 sectors are the nexus of the VCA. So when one sector is affected, even the other gets affected. The agriculture sector was impacted in terms of droughts. So when the droughts occurred under agriculture, even the livelihood of people changed. Therefore, there was no income, and also we saw that there was the energy crisis that we had. So many of the community members were affected as well. So livelihoods, there was change in terms of livelihood, diets, and everything. Talking about in relation to climate change and food systems. Yeah.
Okay. And how, through the project, have you been responding to some of these challenges that were caused by the drought?
So, as a VCA, we have been responding to these calamities that have happened. First of all, we have made sure as the VCA we do empowerment of these communities where we work from.
Okay.
So one of the empowerment issues we talk about is knowledge. Secondly, we talk about grants. So these grants specifically we're talking about either from the VCA, that is the next level grant facility, or from the government side, because we understand that from the government side there is the CDF. The CDF now has a component on climate on climate related issues. So people were empowered in terms of knowledge on how to apply, but also on how to make sure that what they're applying for is also related to what they should be doing. So others have opted to do just small dams.
Okay.
And I think that is one of the things that we are also proud of under the VCA, because we saw initiative of people talking about dams, just small dams.
Yeah.
So these dams are for for watering gardens, and also for animal keeping.
Yeah,
yes.
Sure. Okay. Now let's assess generally the VCA project life cycle, which is ending 2025. How long has it been?
So the VCA has been running for the last 4 years. It ends this year, which makes it 5 years.
5 years.
So it ends in December of this year. So the sub-grant partners that were contracted on the VCA are ending activities somewhere in June.
Okay.
Yes. Then the last 6 months are for reporting and making sure that any other activities like the COP are also embedded into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 years down the line, of course, we're not yet in December, but then how would you rate the performance of the VCA? Has it impacted the Zambian communities in a way that you hoped it would?
Yes. I think just to begin with, it is that the VCA was born out of the realization that the lower Kafue basin has been a hive of activities, human activities. When we talk about the lower Kafue basin, we're talking about a whole lot from Lusaka up to somewhere in southern province. Okay. So when you look at this belt, there's usually a lot of activities happening. We're talking about sugar plantations, which is the Nakambala sugar. We're talking about fishing. There's a lot of fishing that is happening in this ecosystem. We're talking about agriculture. This is an agriculture belt also. So when you look at all these activities that are happening, and maybe not also to forget to mention that this area also is a water zone for Lusaka.
Yes.
As you know, Lusaka doesn't have any rivers, and also, so it depends on the lower Kafue basin. So the Kafue lower basin is a hive of activities. So the VCA was born out of the realization that there are these activities happening on this basin, and therefore our design of initiative was that people should first of all be aware about the climate change. Are people aware of climate change? They are aware now. Yeah. And I think that is a score on the VCA. Are people applying what they have learned? Yes, they are applying what they have learned. Okay. How are they applying what they have learned? One, they are applying for grants.
Yes.
So these grants are for local climate solutions.
Okay.
These solutions are not coming out of the blues, where somebody will go to the community and tell them, no, do this. They are born out of the community members realizing,
yes, seeing the need.
Yes, seeing the need. If you need the borehole, apply for a borehole, because you know that when you do a borehole, you'll be able to water your garden. What happens when you water your garden? You have food, at household level. So you're defeating hunger. You're also defeating malnutrition. You'll be able to apply for chickens or whatever.
Rearing,
yes. All these activities are born from the people on the ground. So we have seen a lot of impact in terms of how people are responding to the messages that we're taking to them. But also we realize that you can not only talk about the communities achieving these things, we also look at who are the other stakeholders in this chain. In this chain, we see that government is a major stakeholder. So we are able to reach out to government to provide a proper conducive environment in terms of frameworks and policies. So I think we are happy now that the Green Economy and Climate Change Bill is on. It's
finally out.
Yes, so we are just waiting for the minister to sign the statutory instrument so that it is enacted. So I think we are happy as the VCA that we contributed to that process.
What is in store for 2025 for the VCA project?
Okay, so I think 2025 is the last year of the VCA, so it's a sad reality, but of course it's something that we would have loved that it continues. So we are thankful first of all to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Netherlands for the support that they have given in the last 5 years. In the last year of the VCA, you expect that there will be a lot of visibility in terms of the project itself, in terms of highlighting the impacts which we have had, and also in terms of attending major, because the VCA has to contribute to international conferences. So this year we plan to just highlight what we have done at the COP in Brazil. So as VCA will be attending most of these conferences just to highlight what the VCA has done.
What the VCA has been about.
Yes, and also these are the positive impacts that the VCA has had, I think, will also propel partnerships. For maybe people might want to partner and look at the success that have happened
for the future.
Yeah, so we're talking about sustainability of what has been achieved.
We'd like to thank you also for having sponsored Climate Check for the past 13 episodes.
Yes,
thank you to the VCA project.
Thank you, Mary. We are happy, and we always look forward that whatever comes our way, we shall always make sure that we partner with znbc through these major platforms.
We hope to see you again on the show, even outside the sponsorship. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best as you continue to impact communities positively towards climate action.
Thank you, Mary.
We'll take a short break. Join me on the other side as I will be speaking to the chairperson of the House of Chiefs, and this is Chief Nkambo, as he highlights some of the works the chiefdoms in this country are doing towards climate action, and also creating a mindset change in the people in these communities to ensure that everything that they do is in line with the 8th National Development Plan and, of course, sustainability for our country, Mother Zambia. Join me on the other side.
We have an initiative from the from the Office of the Chairperson, House of Chiefs, which we call National Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation Initiative, Harnessing Traditional Leadership for Affirmative Climate Local Action in Zambia. And so far we've done launch in various places. The first one was on the 19th of June, if I'm not mistaken, on the Copper Belt, and our local government and rural development minister, Honorable Gary Nkombo, happened to grace that event. And so our major role was that of sensitization, to sensitize our people on climate change. You know, it's a global challenge that has come, and we don't know when this will come to an end. And so as a traditional leadership, we have the platform, but we realize that we don't have the expertise. And so what we do is that we engage those that are experts in those areas. We engage the Forestry Department, Ministry of Agriculture. Those are the ones that come to address our people. Even though ourselves also, we recognize the fact that we have a role to play. We remind our people to get back to those olden ways of farming. You know, intercropping, we were not relying on one type of crop. Yeah, we used to grow cassava because cassava could stay, you know, underground for a good number of years. And so, unfortunately, our people have forgotten all those old methods of farming. They are relying on maize only and hybrid for that matter. Maybe for commercial purposes, we can be planting the hybrid, but a certain portion of their farm can be reserved for those seeds that we can keep on planting on a yearly basis. And some of those don't even demand for these fertilizers that we use. They can grow, especially if you plant them early. Like Gankata, we have known of places where they grow and they mature very well. And so that's one role that we play. We really strongly emphasize to our people that we have to diversify in terms of agriculture. A small portion of cassava, kandolo, that's the sweet potatoes, millet. There's those crops like millet, sorghum, which can grow even when there is a minimum rains. Yeah, there is a drought. They can mature to full maturity, even with dew, that moisture. Along with adaptation measures, we emphasize on the need for our people to respect, certain areas from times immemorial, like water sources. We don't allow our people to be cutting trees around those areas, and so we remind them, grave, the cemetery where the dead are buried, we don't allow trees to be. And the trees along the river, we don't allow them to be cutting those. And now with the help of certain organizations that have come to help us in this battle with climate change and its negative effects, we do provide that platform. And we engage those people, we allow those people to come and address our people. Yes. On the Copper Belt, we have, like We Forest in my chiefdom, they've done tremendous work. Yeah, certain areas that were almost depleted of trees, we gave them those portions to manage. And bushes have grown now. And our people are being educated on how to keep bees, yes. Because, where there is a beehive, it becomes difficult for a person to come and cut that tree. And so quite a good number of our people have gone into that, into beekeeping. Those are some of the mitigation measures. And other ways, alternative ways of livelihood have been introduced. Like We Forest brought goats. There are those people that have, they give them goats, and after those, the goats have given birth, that set is given to another, and it's working well. And so we are calling upon our children, the politicians, to look at certain challenges that we face as a broad family, of Zambians. And let us put our heads together and see how we can root out those problems, like climate change. Instead of arguing who has brought this drought, what and what, let us focus on the solutions. Because when we identify ourselves with the problem, that's only when we are forced to become part of the solution, the desired solution.
We have come to the end of Climate Check for this week. Make a date with me next week, same channel, same time, as we continue putting our efforts together towards climate action in Zambia. My name is Mary Mwiikisa. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.